as we are in the post-election phase here in Greater West Bloomfield. Election day, a very busy day out and about across the entirety of the Greater West Bloomfield area and every single one of our precincts. Our team was hard at work out in the field as well and still are on this post-election Wednesday. Jake Schaf joins us now live from out in the field at Orchard Lake City Hall with more information on the voters and their process on that Tuesday election day.
Hey, Tyler, good morning. I'm standing live outside of Orchard Lake City Hall, one of the many polling locations for all across Greater West Bloomfield, where many voters came out to make their voices heard and to cast their ballot, not only for the big presidential race that's been going on, but also for the local elections that, as some of these residents explained, are just as important.
I think the local elections are extremely important because that's the grassroots. So that is the micro. The national elections are the macro. So they're both very important.
Yeah, I mean, I think people fail to realize how important the smaller elections are as well. I mean, you're voting for people that take care of your city, take care of your schooling, community. So I think those are just as big as well.
Every single vote counts, and everyone wants to do their part in making a difference, including some residents who are voting for the very first time this year, and explained how important it is to finally take part in the democratic process.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good to get my opinion out there. I mean, I think it's a huge thing as an American just to share your opinion. I mean, people fight and argue all the time, but this is really where it matters. So I'm glad to be able to share my opinion.
You know, I've been hearing how to vote. I didn't know the proper way to vote. I thought it was just one way or the other, but there's lots of wonderful candidates. There's wonderful supporters out here today, and I've been really educated. I've learned how it works. I've learned how far people will go to support the candidates that they believe in, and again, just glad to be out here today.
It can be a very exciting feeling to vote in your very first election. But I think a lot of us can agree that after several months of political news, we all could use a break from the onslaught of political ads all over the media.
Oh man, I am so, the election's been booming for the past months now, and I'm just ready for, yes, the ads to be over and really just to kind of move on, get over the subject. Whoever gets in, but let's just move on and help America grow ultimately. Instead of the division between fighting Republican or Democrat, let's just unite as one.
Yeah, honestly, I enjoy the debates and stuff. I think it's pretty interesting hearing both sides of the story, both aspects. I personally enjoy it. I like more of the debates. But I guess, yeah, it's kind of nice to have the stress and get the final answer you're looking to get.
The first thing I said to anybody today was, at the end of today, we don't have to hear any more of those commercials or get any more of the text messaging. It's way out of control. And it's got to do a lot of it with the money that they raise, which is why I don't believe they should raise money. I think elections should all be publicly financed. They should be given a specific amount of money, spend it how you will, and that's it.
Needless to say, there's going to be a lot of activity going on in the next few months now that these election results are finally in, and it's going to be very curious to see how the community responds and how the community goes forward with the results that come in. Civic Center TV, I'm Jake Schaf, live outside of Orchard Lake City Hall. Back to you, Tyler.
Appreciate the report, Jake, from live out in the Tri-Cities after a very busy Tuesday in Greater West Bloomfield as our local residents made their decisions on very critical races, both at the national level and at the local level as well, all having a major impact on the future of our community and beyond. Also, another member of our team out and about on Election Day in West Bloomfield, getting more information from voters on their excitement for the end of the election season, their participation in this election, and a little bit of an inside look at the processes that went on Election Day at Town Hall. Kevin McIntosh with us now live at West Bloomfield Town Hall with more. Kevin.
Thank you, Tyler. With Election Day finally over, voters and election workers alike both reflect on what made this democratic process so vital. I actually had an opportunity to speak with one voter who explained why voting on Election Day was so important. And we spoke with an election worker to explain what they learned behind the scenes. Here's a look at their perspective on Election Day.
Election Day in West Bloomfield saw residents showing up at precincts across the area eager to participate in this pivotal moment. For many, casting a ballot in person on Election Day carries a special significance.
Well, if you want change, the only way to make change is to cast your vote, because your voice carries a weight.
Even after participating in previous elections, experienced voters express how this election may be no different from others, but the anticipation remains the same.
It's not so much what's different, it's what's at hand. If my candidate wins, then the country goes back to normalcy. If my candidate loses, then lots of things could happen, none of which I want to think about.
Working on the ground on Election Day, Sue Goodman offered insight into a campaign worker's experience and what she's learned throughout the process.
It was great. I took a class in election law, so I was able to tell people that they could get an absentee ballot and not stand in line and all those kinds of things. So it's been extremely cordial. You know, there haven't been any fights, there hasn't been any problems. Even people on the opposite side have been very cordial. So it's been a good experience.
As voters complete their civic duty, they leave with a sense of pride, knowing they've contributed to the democratic process.
Well, that's what democracy is all about. You know, if you don't vote, you can't complain. So it's really important to get out and vote, even if you don't know who you're voting for in the presidential part. Think about all of the people who are the judges and the school boards and your county executives. All those things are going to affect your personal life.
With votes cast and ballots counted, there was only one feeling that we all had after Election Day.
It feels good to have that monkey off my back.
And right now, I am live outside of the West Bloomfield Township Town Hall boardroom, where it was very, very busy scene last night. Election workers working hard, tallying up these ballots to make sure that they are counted accurately and safely. As a matter of fact, it was a busy scene last night as they were broken up into teams to count up the absentee ballots. I actually had a moment to speak with election specialist Paula Cummings, who explained to me how it worked a little bit last night. She explained that the absentee ballots were counted in this room. They were broken up into teams. The volunteer counter was broken up into teams and assigned to tables. Each table was counted or assigned 2 to 3 different precincts to make sure that they count the ballots accurately. Now, this was done, like we said, so it was done safely, securely, and efficiently. And Paula also went on to explain some different things to me that although we voted at different precincts, each precinct tabulated and counted those ballots right there on the scene. But currently, all ballots are right here at the town hall, securely placed in a room right now. And although the main counting wrapped up around 10 p.m. last night, there were some workers that were actually spending some time here. Paula says she spent some time making sure that the precinct ballots were balanced and, of course, had to do a little bit of cleaning up after the scene as well. So this just goes to show that the work that goes behind the scenes to make sure that the precinct is ensuring that we have a very safe, efficient, and accurate election day right here in our town hall. Thank you again, and back to you in the studio, Tyler.
Appreciate the report, Kevin. Live at West Bloomfield Town Hall after a very busy night there. I know from past elections, both the primaries, the midterm elections, and past presidential elections, that the AV Counter Board, that tends to be the last guard in West Bloomfield. They're out there until the very end of the process on election night, until every vote has been tabulated and every vote has been sent off to the county for those unofficial election results.